Olympic Games.
How's it going, everyone? Hope everybody is doing well. So today I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to talk about a certain topic here. And the topic of this video is, this is why it is a good thing to not have a lot of friends in 2025. If any, actually. This isn't going to be like a super long video like I usually do. This is going to be short. I do plan on doing a little bit shorter videos. So, yeah, just bear with me. Let me share this in my Discord server really quickly, actually. If you have any other topics you want me to talk about, feel free to comment them. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. So, we're going to get into this. So, the reason I say to not have a lot of friends in 2025, if any, is due to the fact of how society has gotten. Society has gotten to a point to where it's just ridiculously hard to trust anyone. Like, you take it like if you go outside, you know, whatever you're doing, your business, whatever you're doing, say you're just going grocery shopping. People honestly cannot even have a civil conversation anymore. Like, most people, now, yeah, sure, you'll find some that'll be like, oh, hey, hello, you know, but it's like, you know, most of the time, they don't say that. They don't say hello, they don't really say anything. They've got their nose in a phone, or they're just pretending like you don't even exist. So, and this goes the same way with friends, too. Like, the thing with friends is, people are not trustworthy in today's society. People will do the most horrendous things to you in today's world. It's not like it was back in the 80s. I wasn't even around in the 80s. But from what I've been told, from what I've seen, it was not like that in the 80s at all. Another thing, too, is like, not only can you not trust them, but it's like, you know, you have to take a risk, like especially as a man, you have to take a risk of being backstabbed. So, I mean, who's going to want to do that? Like, who is going to want to sit here and take a risk and say, well, I could be backstabbed, but, you know, I'm going to go ahead and go with it because what the hell, you know? No, I mean, most sane people are not even going to even think about doing that. Like, another thing, too, is, like, online groups, like, especially stuff like social media, Discord groups, you know, certain gaming groups, is filled with toxicity. I mean, completely filled with toxicity. And if you don't be like how, whether it be whatever it is, and they just find one little problem with you, because here's the thing. I've noticed when you try to find a friend and you'll get to talking to them, when you tell them, like, you know, say what you're looking for in a friend or whatever, they're reading that, thinking, trying to find some reason in the paragraph or whatever you typed to decline you. They're trying to find some way to neglect you, to reject you, what have you will. And oftentimes they find the most stupidest reason to just reject you as a person. Now, me personally, I have went through this many times. I'm sure all the people who are watching this video now, will watch this video now, you'll say the same thing. Like, but like another thing too is when you're searching for friends, like, you know, it's very hard, especially if you're oppressed a lot, you know, you've had a lot of hardships in life, you know, by people who are supposed to support you, love and care about you, and really this applies to family even to a degree too. Like, you know, a lot of people, what they'll try to do is they'll try to friend you at first before you get to know them, and then it's like bam, you know, a little bit later down the line, they will backstab you, they will betray you for their own benefit, or just because they just simply don't care. Like, and it's like, you know, who wants to deal with this? Nobody. I mean, we're alone, like America as a whole, the Western world as a whole, we're more lonelier, but we're more connected than ever. And what I mean by that is connected like in social media terms. We can talk to people across the world, but yet we're still more lonelier because people are not spending time with family, they're not spending time with friends. And, you know, another thing too is people's misconception of what a actual friend is. A friend is not someone that you just go to the bar with. A friend is not someone you just play video games with. A friend is not someone that you just do Bible study with, or, you know, you get the point. Like, an actual friend is somebody who's like there for you when it's raining. You know, when things hit the fan, that's how you'll know they're really your friend, is if they have your back. You know, think of it this way. If you and all your buddies was in a room and you had to leave, like say all you and your buddies was in a room and there were some other people in there and they asked you to leave, and this other person's like, well, what do you think of that guy? What do you think of that woman? Are they going to defend your name in the room quietly without you around? Or are they going to sit here and backstab you, talk crap behind your back, and be two-faced about it? Well, more than likely, it's probably going to be the second one. Now, I'm not saying that real friends don't exist. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is it's least likely. Because I know in my life, especially if when you're young and say you go through school, right, and you didn't really have like friends growing up in school, you were pretty much the outcast, you know, and then it's elementary, it's the same thing. Middle school is the same thing. High school is the same thing. Okay, that's going to do something to a person's mind. You know, it's going to make them feel worthless. It's going to make them feel like they don't matter. It's going to make them feel like that their life is just not good at all. They're going to be broken. You know, they're going to feel all these kind of types of negative emotions. And another thing, too, is like when you try to talk about this stuff, people do not want to hear the truth. They don't. Like, you'll try to talk to someone about it, and, you know, you'll just get met with, and I've been met with this many a times, they'll be like, oh, well, suck it up. Or just get over it. Or, you know, some other heartless answer that they tell you. And, you know, so-called friends a lot of times are the ones claiming to be your friend, but yet they say this type of stuff. Like, you know, I know this one person, I don't really talk to him no more, but I was sick one time. and I had food poisoning. And this guy was middle class, by the way. So I'm pretty sure you probably know where I'm going with this for the people who know when I talk about this. But anyway, I was hurting really bad. Like, it was one of the worst cases of food poisoning I've had in a long time. And he told me, he just said, quit being a wuss, get over it. And it's like, you know, people do not have empathy. And it's like, you know, that's another thing that friends are supposed to have, is empathy. And if they don't have empathy, you have to wonder, are they truly, really even your friend? Because at that point, you know, like, if they're sitting here saying this kind of type of stuff to you, they are not your friend. They do not care. So another thing too is, like, people can really get in your mind while they're being a masquerade, while they're wearing a mask. You know, they put on a fake persona, so to say, you know, in front of you, and then behind your back it's something totally different. Or they will like act like they're your friend and such, and then later on down the line, you know, just crap just explodes. And it's like, you know, why would you want to deal with that? Why would you want to put up with that and risk your mental health, your physical health, emotional health, you know, whether, you know, whatever it is, like, you know, why would you want to risk that? Because that is what you're doing when you're getting involved with all these people. You know, there's way too many toxic people anymore. And another thing too is, like, you pretty much have two choices. You pretty much have two choices, y'all. Like, you have the choice of being alone, or go around more people, and then you'll feel more miserable than you do when you were alone. And you know, I hate that it's this way, but, like, you know, honestly, it really is. And you know, same thing, it could be people you call friends. Most of these people friends that they call friends are nothing but acquaintances, if that. You know, so also, like, when people will also only talk to you, like, try to be your friend or a fake friend or whatever, because they want to get an ego boost. They want to know what they can get out of him or her. You know, they're like, well, what can I get out of them socially, or be nosy, or what can I get out of them? And it's like, you know, that's not a friend. That's they are using you. That is not a friend at all. And it's like, you know, this is what we've come to in 2025. You know, and I'll tell you another thing. People also, you know, what they're doing is that they're only viewing you on what they can get out of you, most likely. You know, and they what they will do is they will try to get you to deny and completely disregard your past life experiences. Now, I'm pretty sure that sounds pretty familiar. I'll say it again. They will try to get you to forget about your past life experiences like they don't matter. Yeah, if a person is doing this, stay clear away from them. Because the past does matter on a lot of things. Some things it don't, but a lot of things it does. So, you know, it really makes you think, because men are more lonelier now than they ever been. People as a whole, society as a whole it's lonely. Like, you go out here, no, most of the people, they're so uptight. just look at the looks on people's faces. Like, they're so uptight. They always got like this sour look to them. A lot of them do. And it's like, everybody's uptight. And it's like I say, they expect you to just ignore everything you've ever went through in your entire life. Oh, just suck it up or get over it. And it makes you feel like you really ain't worth a thing. It destroys your mind. It destroys your emotional health, your mental health. Like, and it's like, look, I'm not going to deal with that. I don't know about a lot of other people, but like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. And, I would highly suggest that y'all don't deal with it either, the people that watch this video, because it's not going to end well for you. So what I'm saying is, it is better to be alone than be with bad company. It is better to be alone than be more miserable with people. Now, this is coming from somebody who necessarily doesn't like to be alone, but I will say this. People don't want a friend as well that's aware of things, how the world works, who have this type of mindset, because they cannot victimize you and they cannot play the victim. And, I'm of the mindset now, another thing too, before I get to this point, say you go and try to talk to these people, right? Because they're not going to care about your problems. So you go and try to talk to them, right? They'll tell you, oh, suck it up. Very popular one they say is, oh, someone's got it worse than you. Well, here's the thing. I don't care. I don't care who's got it worse than me, because in this moment, is that going to give me a solution? Is that going to fix the problem? If not, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I understand that certain people do have it worse, and that's unfortunate. But that has nothing to do with the conversation at hand. That has nothing to do with said person's problem that they are talking about to this other person. And what that is being dismissive of a person's problem, regardless of what it is. The smallest problems can turn into the biggest issues. So I'll give an example of this. Say John, we got a guy named John, say he's got like a male roach and a female roach in his house. Okay, this is a small problem. There's only 2 roaches. Well, let's just say he neglects the problem, and he's just like, well, I don't really care. It's whatever. Well, that little small problem is going to turn into a massive problem if he does not put his foot down and stop the problem, because he's going to have a whole house full of roaches. It's the same thing with a lot of other things, regardless of what the problem is. Like, it may be small to you, but it may not be to them. I mean, there's even been certain people, y'all, I kid you not, that's really told people, and I know someone who's had this told to them, where they will lose a child, like a woman will lose a child, like as a miscarriage, and people will just say, oh, well, don't worry about it, you can have another one. And it's like, what? That's not a friend. That is not a friend at all. That is a snake. That is scum. That is not anybody that you should be associating with. Like, cut those people out of your life, for real. Another thing is, like I said, when you're in this type of mindset, they cannot victimize you. They can't play the victim, because that's what a lot of people want to do. They either want to victimize you or play the victim. A lot of people, what they do is when they victimize you, they will make you feel bad just so they can feel good in their ego boost, for even if it's for 5 minutes. And it's like, Do I think that that is good to do? No, I don't. I think that's terrible. Like, under no circumstances would I ever pull some garbage like that. I don't understand that way of thinking. I don't understand that mindset. But another thing is, like, you know, you'll tell somebody something, and, like, say a friend, quote unquote friend, you'll tell them something, and then just suddenly everybody else knows it. And it's like, you know, that's the thing. A real friend is not going to go and tell your business like that. There's a saying that's really true. It's called, two can keep a secret if one of them are dead. I think that is pretty accurate for 2025. Like, because if they're both alive, you know, more than likely out of one of those, if not both, one of them is going to be a snake, like, for real. So it's like, you know, your business is plastered everywhere that you just told, and yeah, it's not going to end well for you. But it's just like, they also can't, you know, victimize you, because when they're trying to victimize you, it just, I don't know, y'all, like, it's really pathetic. Facts. It's really pathetic, because it really shows where their moral compass is. It really shows how much of a toxic individual that this person is that's doing this type of stuff. So, yeah, I'll probably elaborate on this again sometime, but, like, it's crazy out there, y'all. It really is, because you know, like, I've been friends with certain people, and, you know, been betrayed, backstabbed, all this stuff, and it's like, there's so much I could talk about, but like I said, I'm not going to make this like a huge, long video. Yeah, if there's any other topics like this that you would like to hear about, make sure you put it in the comments. Also, share your thoughts on it as well. Like I said, I probably will come back to this eventually at some point, because there's a lot to talk about. You know, like, even your church peers, like, you know, they're the same way. You know, they try to think like, oh, if you got this positive mindset thinking, like, all the time, nothing bad will happen. Like, and it's like, you know, that's not realistic. You know, having a positive mindset 24/7, that is not realistic. You know, you're not going to manifest anything into existence. That's not realistic either. Like, you know, if that was the case, then I would have manifested all kinds of money or something. Like, you know, it's ridiculous. Like, you can't speak things into existence. Like, only God can do that. But, like, it's stupid. But I'm of the mindset now, you know, if you're not of the same mindset as me, if you don't view the world the same as me, sayonara. Like, you know, if you're not actively bringing something into my life that actually gives my life purpose, if you're not, you know, bringing something to the table of a friendship, so to say, I've got no need for it. It's a waste of time, y'all. And I truly mean that. It really is a waste of time, because you're wasting your time on a toxic individual who does not care. You know, and you know, you can say that that's not good to have, but here's the thing. People who have the same mindset, they connect better if they have the same mindset than they would if They didn't. I mean, because, you know, there's obviously going to be arguments, all that kind of jazz, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth the arguing. But, like, yeah, like, you know, be careful who you talk to, that's for sure. Because it's a crazy world in 2025, to be honest. Things have gotten really bad, honestly. You know, people cannot even hold a simple conversation anymore. It's just gotten really bad, but yeah. Hope y'all like the video. Like I said, I probably will elaborate on this more again sometime. But yeah, stay safe out there. You know, protect yourself from these kind of types of people. If you do have friends that are any good, consider it a blessing. Because, you know, a lot of people don't have it, to be honest. So, I mean, that's what I do, to be honest. Just consider it a blessing. Because you're living in a world full of snakes. You're living in a world full of snakes. And, you know, narcissists, ego-driven people, all this kind of type of stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, if you like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell notification so that you don't miss a video. And I will see you all next time.